outback, a 22-year-old phenom who's been battered, bruised, and buried under a mountain of critics' doubts, suddenly erupts onto the world stage. Not just any stage, but the Ashes, where legends are forged in fire. Reece Walsh, the electric fullback whose every sprint screams defiance, just snagged his first Kangaroos jersey for England's brutal tour. But here's the gut punch. After a grand final masterclass that left jaws on the floor, is this the spark that ignites Australia's dynasty, or a fuse to a heartbreaking flameout? Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. Aussie NRL Updates has your front row seat to the chaos. From the sun-baked fields of Queensland's junior leagues, where dust clung to his boots like unshakable dreams, Reece Walsh carved his path with a ferocity that turned heads and twisted ankles. Picture a scrawny kid, eyes wide as saucers, dodging tackles like shadows in a storm, his family cheering from rickety bleachers under floodlights that flickered like his flickering confidence. He burst into the NRL spotlight with the Titans, a raw diamond rough around the edges, but Brisbane saw the fire. The Broncos scooped him up, and boom, controversy exploded. Off-field whispers, on-field blunders, a state of origin snub that felt like a sledgehammer to the chest. Fans screamed overhyped. Pundits penned obituaries for his career before it peaked. Yet Walsh? He laughed in the face of the storm. Training sessions turned into war zones, weights clanging like battle cries, mentors drilling him until his lungs burned and his resolve hardened like steel. Fast forward to 2025, a season of redemption, where every try he scorched across the line was a middle finger to the doubters. The grand final? Pure poetry in motion. With the clock ticking down, Storm defenders closing in like wolves, Walsh danced through the chaos, his footwork a blur of genius, sealing the Broncos' triumph and claiming the Clive Churchill medal in a moment that echoed through eternity. But as confetti rained and tears flowed, whispers swirled in the locker room. Would the selectors finally bite? The nation held its breath, hearts pounding in sync with the unknown. Little did they know, the real thunder was brewing across the Tasman Sea, where Kevin Walters, the coach with a gambler's grin, held the cards that could rewrite history. And just when you thought the fairy tale ended with the trophy lift, the plot twisted sharper than a Walsh sidestep. What if this call-up wasn't a reward, but a reckoning? Deep in the warren of NRL headquarters, under fluorescent lights that buzzed like nervous bees, the selection meeting unfolded like a high-stakes poker game. Walters, sleeves rolled up, map of tattoos telling tales of his own battles, slammed the table. We are building a beast, not a museum. 7 fresh faces, debutantes unscarred by the green and gold, flooded the squad list, a bold bet on youth over the grizzled vets who'd car the load for years. Walsh's name topped the fullback spot, displacing icons who'd worn the jersey like second skin. Gahamat Shibasaki, his Broncos brother-in-arms, slotted in beside him, a forward freight train ready to pulverize Poms. Nathan Cleary, the Panther Prince, anchored the halves, but Snub stung like salt and wounds. Matt Burton, the forgotten gun, left twisting in the wind. Surprise rippled through the room. Journalists gasped, phones exploded with texts. Walsh! He froze mid-celebration, phones slipping from sweat-slick fingers as the call came. Mate, you're in, Walters barked, voice gravel and glory. Walsh's world tilted, visions of Wembley roaring, English rain lashing his face, the weight of a nation's hopes crashing down. But beneath the elation lurked a shadow. Injuries had dogged him like a curse, and England, hungry after years in the wilderness, smelled blood. The tour loomed, 3 tests across foggy fields, where one fumble could fracture dreams. As squad mates toasted with cans clinking like chimes of fate, Walsh stared at his reflection in the glass, boy to man in a heartbeat. The Ashes weren't just games, they were gladiatorial rites, where heroes rose or crumbled under the roar. And as the plane tickets printed, engines humming promises of peril, one question hung heavier than the jet lag. Could this untested lightning bolt outrun the gathering storm, or would the Poms clip his wings before he soared? Tune in to Aussie NRL Updates for the raw breakdowns that keep you ahead of the curve. We're your pulse on the Premiership Pulse. England's green pitches, slick with autumn chill and centuries of conquests, awaited like a siren's call laced with venom. The Ashes, that sacred slugfest reborn in 2025, promise carnage. Aussies, armoured in arrogance forged from Pacific dominance, versus a lion-hearted host clawing for relevance. Walsh, jet-lagged but jaw-set, stepped off the tarmac into a media frenzy, flashes popping like gunfire, questions probing like scalpels. First cap, kid, nervous. A Cockney scribe sneered. Walsh flashed that mega-white grin, the one that hid hurricanes. Nervous? Nah, excited to show him why we rule the world. But privately? Doubts gnawed like termites. Training camps turned brutal ballets. Scrimmages where Shibasaki's hits echoed like thunderclaps, Cleary's kicks slicing fog like lasers. Walsh adapted, his vision sharpening, reads on defences turning instinctive. Yet surprise struck mid-session, a huddle revelation from Walters, eyes gleaming like a prospector's. "Reece, you're starting Game 1. No warm-ups, straight to the Coliseum." Gasps rippled, even the vets blinked. The fullback throne, vacated by retirements and rotations, was his to claim or lose. Teammates slapped his back, but envy flickered in sidelong glances. Across the channel, England plotted. Sean Wayne, their wily wizard, stacked the deck with bruisers like Tompkins and speed demons like Chanley, vowing to smash the smugness. Pre-tour. Friendlies? Walsh dazzled, a try under the posts that left defenders grasping air, but a late knock rattled ribs, sending trainers scrambling. Cliffhanger tension coiled, cleared to play, but whispers of fragility spread like wildfire. As kickoff neared, the squad bonded over barbecues and banter, stories swapped like sacred scrolls, Walsh sharing tales of Broncos brotherhood, igniting laughs that cut the edge. The narrative swelled, not just a tour, but a torch passing, where Walsh's spark could blind the Lions or fizzle in the downpour. Fans back home glued to screens, breaths bated, wondering if this call-up birthed a legend or buried a prodigy too soon. The whistle loomed, hearts hammering, victory's roar or defeat's dirge. As the final siren of the Ashes trilogy fades into legend's ledger, Reece Walsh emerges not just unscathed, but sculpted, a colossus clad in emerald triumph. Game 1, chaos in Cardiff, Walsh's grubber threading needles through a thicket of tackles, igniting a 28-12 rout that silenced skeptics. Surprise detonated in Game 2 at Headingley, trailing 16-10 at half-time, English boots muddy with malice. Walsh orchestrated the comeback, a 50-metre intercept try that flipped the script, crowds erupting in reluctant awe. The decider? Wembley under lights, a cauldron of 80,000 souls, where pressure peaked like Everest summit. Walsh, bandaged but unbreakable, danced the death-defying jig, his pass to Cleary sealing a 34-20 masterstroke. 7 debutantes? All blooded but unbowed, Shibasaki's carries carving canyons, the new blood pulsing with promise. Critics, once croaking dirges, now croon sonnets. Walsh's stats, 3 tries, 15 assists, 0 errors, etch him eternal. But the storytelling arcs deeper. Off-field, he mentored juniors via video calls, his voice a beacon for the next wave, turning personal pain into communal power. The tour's toll? Bruises blooming like badgers, homesickness a quiet thief, yet bonds forged in foxholes outlast the glory. Back in Brisbane, parades thundered, medals gleamed, but Walsh's eyes scanned horizons. 2028 Worlds? Captaincy whispers? The kid who'd clawed from controversy now commanded respect, his journey a tapestry of tenacity. Australia reigned supreme, Ashes earned secured, but the real victory? Proving the doubters dead wrong. As the plane arcs homeward, stars winking approval, one truth lingers. Lightning doesn't strike twice, it evolves into thunder. What's next for Walsh and the Kangaroos? Stick with Aussie NRL updates. We are diving deeper into the drafts, deals, and dreams that drive down under. Subscribe, share the fire, and let's keep the conversation roaring.